Get free tech advice for your business from O2 Gurus. Search O2 Business for more. Hey guys, welcome to BTech. It's Basil here comparing the LG G4 with the Huawei P8. The Huawei P8 was announced just a few weeks ago, the LG G4 just today. Leather-backed f1.8 camera, it's got stonking specs. The Huawei P8 though is probably going to be a little bit cheaper. We've just reviewed this. Aside from a buggy user interface, it's one of the best devices around, largely based on its own cameras. So it's going to be camera versus camera. We're going to start off as per usual talking about the design. And these are two very different phones. The Huawei P8, well, it instantly looks kind of like a Sony Xperia. It's got a very classical rectangular shape to it. It's slim, it's just 6.4 millimeters, I believe. It's the thinnest metal smartphone out there. You've got a 5.2-inch display. Buttons on the right-hand side include a volume rock and power button. You've also got a micro SD card slot and a nano SIM card slot. Down at the base is a mono loudspeaker and micro USB connector. No buttons on the left. Up at the top, 3.5mm headphone jack. On the flip side around the back, it's a metal back device. You've also got a glass panel up there, NFC, contact point, and all your antennas. It isn't the highest resolution camera out there. It's only 13 megapixels, but it does have optical image stabilization that is so good. We would say this thing could be as good as the iPhone 6 or iPhone 6 Plus. It's got an RGBW sensor, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's talk about the cameras a little bit later. Now I'm going to carry on talking about the design of the LG G4. And this design looks, well, very different from anything I've seen except for the G3. It pretty much looks like a G3 with a leather back. Nice rounded backing, ergonomic, sits well in the hand and feels pretty premium. Still feels quite light, still feels a little bit more plasticky than high-end devices like the Galaxy S6 Edge, for example. But you know what, metal feels expensive, but metal's kind of makes your hands a bit clammy, doesn't feel as warm to the touch, doesn't feel quite as inviting. You've got no buttons around the side. You've got quite thin bezels around the side too. Front-facing 8-megapixel camera. No buttons down below, just that LG insignia. At the base of the device, micro USB connector, as well as a 3.5mm headphone jack. Up at the top, it's a infrared blaster. Around the back, that camera, f1.8, 16 megapixels. 6-axis optical image stabilization, laser autofocus. It's also got a flash and an ambient light sensor, color sensor. So it'll give you the most accurate light white balance available, according to LG, that is. You've also got volume buttons and a power button too. Ultimately a decent feeling device. I can actually prise open that back cover to reveal the 3000 milliamp removable battery, micro SD and micro SIM card slot as well, both under the hood. We'll come on to what else is under the hood as soon as I finish talking about that display. And it is LTPS LCD versus IPS. It's actually something called quantum IPS. So it's a very sharp, very vibrant panel. 538 pixels per inch thanks to that Quad HD resolution versus 440 odd pixels per inch on the Huawei P8. The reason it's a low resolution is because it is full HD, but neither of these are going to showcase too many visible pixels unless you're looking under a microscope. Carrying on talking about the screens, but specifically what's inside them. It's Android 5.0 on both of these devices. Android 5.0 paired with Emotion UI on the Huawei. This is Huawei's own custom user interface, and LG's UX 4.0 on the G4. What you can expect from LG's UI is the left-hand side smart bulletins, which will give you some useful things that you'll need every now and then. And from the main home screen's a traditional Android setup. You can pinch to get an overview. Pull down bar, you've got quick toggles, you've got brightness and volume control, and you've got an applications tray too that I can swipe through very easily. Here you can also access your widgets and throw widgets and shortcuts onto your home screen. The LG G3 really let us down in terms of stability. After 2 weeks or so, it stuttered so much. Hopefully the hexa-core processor 6 cores will stutter less, especially paired with the 3 gig of RAM on here. As for Huawei, it's a Kirin processor, a Combi 930-935 Kirin processor, octa-core. You can also expect 64-bit architecture as well. The user interface, Emotion UI, pretty traditional. You can customize it very heavily with themes, with transitions, with loads of stuff. But at the same time, it was quite buggy. It's the most buggy version of Emotion UI. Reason being, it registered my thumb as a knuckle a lot of the time. Now, normally that wouldn't be a big deal, but Huawei is giving us this knuckle technology, so you can screen grab with a knuckle. So in my review, you'll see, if you haven't seen it already, I whinge and moan about the fact that every time I tried to play a game or something, it always takes screenshots, thereby disrupting my experience. With any luck, LG's UI will be more stable than that, and with any luck, Huawei will push a fix out soon. Still, it's a pretty simple user interface. You can do some really nice customizing on it. You can, for example, throw pictures from your gallery as background elements, and like I said, you can swap out your theme extensively, so it's the most customizable UI that I've seen in a very long time. Now onto those cameras, and it is 13 megapixels versus 16 megapixels. Let's take a picture of exactly the same thing. There you go. And we can zoom in on it. Similar amounts of handshake, but very, very different color reproduction there. Definitely will say that the LG G, so that, by the way, is what I was talking about. It's registering my thumb as a finger, and so I can't actually pull down the notifications tray. So I had to use a different thumb. See, annoying Huawei. Anyway, as you can see, it's actually registered, the RGBW sensor has registered colors very differently, and the LG G4 is actually more accurate here, significantly more so. So even though the RGBW, the white additional pixel, was purported by Huawei to be super accurate, it seems like this color reader is really, really decent. Especially considering in certain situations, the Huawei gave an iPhone a run for its money on the white balance front. As far as the modes go, you have full manual mode on the LG G4, whereas on the Huawei P8 you have something called light painting, which slows down the shutter. This doesn't enable you to achieve any real full manual control, but you can still get things like light trails, silky water, and light graffiti. Look forward to getting the LG G4 in, and then hopefully we'll be able to tell you affirmatively which of these two devices has the better camera. Now taking a look under the hood, and we have, like I said, a Kirin processor versus a Qualcomm Snapdragon processor. 3 GB of RAM on both. Both devices have up to Cat 6 LTE here in the UK, which you're only going to really be able to exploit if you are on EE. As far as batteries go, 2600 milliamps, which was annoyingly small and did bug out on us, dying by the end of the day, sadly, on the Huawei P8. And 3000 milliamps on the LG G4. Now the 3000 milliamp cell on the G3 died before the day was out, so with the same screen size, it's going to be questionable as to see how well this device performs. It's going to be one of those things, like I said, we have to get one in. So LG, if you're watching this, we're really excited by the G4 and would like to get one in to test, so we can say everything affirmatively. But right now, our preliminary hands-on is over. If you've got any questions about either of these two devices, just fire them in the comments section below. If you like the video, make sure you click that like button, and of course, if you like BTech, click that subscribe button. That's how you're going to stay on top of everything that we do. Hopefully you enjoyed. Thanks for watching.